screens, because now we're actually going to go in and like unpack how you're going to do this. So in terms of who you're going to help, it's made up of a couple of things, okay? And I'm just going to go through this, high level, and then you can go down and break it down. But essentially your avatar, this. Okay, so your avatar is a blend between who you help. Oh, sorry, my bad. Your niche. Right? Your niche is a blend between who you help and what you say and what you help them with. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
So this is otherwise known as your market and your message. And again, another way of looking at it is like to and what you do. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
To who and what you do. Okay? So over the next, over this week and next week, we're going to look at building this out and getting it real strong. This week, we're going to be focused on your who. And next week, it's more your what and your message. Okay? So in terms of your who, what you want to be looking at is where's my other slide? Hold on. Bear with me. Where's the blend? Got it. Cool. That's really weird. All right. So you can see the three circles all intertwined there. So in this slide, or in this quadrant, we're sort of going to be breaking down who, the blend that we talked about. Yeah. Do I like them? Do I love them? Can I jump out of a plane for them? Can they pay? And also, can I get them a result? So that's what we're going to be doing next. But before I do that, is there any questions about the niche part?
No, all good.
Awesome. No. And this guy, granted, a lot of people teach niche and avatar, so I'll just be layering over a lot of stuff that you've already heard. Okay. But happy to answer any questions. So now, in terms of your avatar, so just remember, do I like them? Can they pay? And can I get them a result? Or tick. Let's go with tick. So can I solve their problems? If that is yes, then, and they can pay, right? Then you're good to go. Now, look, on that note about can they pay, it really, there's two sides to everything. So if you're wanting to build $1 million business or even $100,000 business, and your niche or your market or your avatar are someone, people who are unemployed, and you want to get them back into employment, and you want to make a $100,000, $1 million business on that, it doesn't really make sense because your price points are going to be so much lower. Whereas if you said that you wanted to create a $100,000, six-figure, that buzzword, $1 million business, and you wanted to work in corporate sales, that makes a little bit more sense. So it really just depends on who you're going to help. Hence why I showed you this slide first. Who you're going to help, you do have to have in mind what you're going to be doing, like what your message is as well. Okay, so just bear that in mind. So the first thing I'm showing you is this is the niche is the blend of who and what, and just keep the what in mind. So when you go through and choose your avatar, keep it in mind that they've got to be able to pay for it, and that's why, because your message has got to be tight to these people, but it has to make sense. So once we've got, once we've thought about it, then we've got to pick the niche, right? Then we've got to pick the avatar. And so I don't know why that slide's in there twice. Maybe if you want to do it twice, I don't know. I was feeling like I needed to put it in there twice. So anyway, we're just going to go through and do this now. So let's have a look. I think I put it in twice because I was going to get your guys' examples. But if you want to just unmute and tell me, so far, one of you start, who is your niche or your avatar at the moment?
So my niche at the moment is small businesses
Mm-hmm.
who have infighting in their teams, and their team is the major problem in their life at the moment. So they could have lack of management resources, communication issues, things like that. And my style of training and coaching delivers better outcomes. So, yeah, dysfunctional. That's the word I was looking for. I thought of that earlier on. Dysfunctional teams. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so you're working with business owners?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Small business owners. Okay. And obviously, do you work with the team directly?
Yep. I work with the team directly, and I encourage the business owner to be part of it as well.
Mm-hmm. And so what's the what for you? You help them do what?
So I help them understand each other through experiential training, so basically playing games. And then I bring in the blend of coaching, so human behavioral models. So the 6 core needs, the adult growth model, the trust me model, and things like that. So they get to understand themselves, and once they can understand themselves, then they can understand each other. And then once they can understand each other, that means that they can understand their customers, clients even better, which improves the bottom line.
Beautiful. So you help small businesses and their teams understand each other.
Yep.
That's cool. I like that. Awesome. So now the thing with these is that either one of them can be broad, right? And the other one wants to be fairly tight. So either or, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So teams understand each other. That's quite tight, right?
Yep.
So there are small businesses, but they don't have teams. Mm-hmm. Or there are businesses and they don't have dysfunction in their teams. So the part for you is that your market's quite broad, small businesses with teams, but you help them. You want small businesses with teams that are dysfunctional, and you help them understand each other. Yeah.
Yep.
So the message in your case is tight, and your who is quite broad. So what I mean by that is, what industries do you work in, Steve?
Seems to be accountants at the moment. Getting an awful lot of accountants. I've got a workshop with Bendigo Bank on Tuesday. So yeah, just had one with the CSU, the university up the road, and that's hopefully opened up the opportunity for another job, which I've just proposed for. So we'll see how that comes out.
Beaut. So can you see how banks, accountants, and schools, they're all different markets. They're like they're different sections. So that's broad for you. Your who is broad, but your message is tight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's cool. Now, are you passionate about it? Do you love these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
See that response? Yeah. Why are you asking? Yeah. It's that you want to enjoy helping these people, right? And you want to know why. And if I bet, I'm not going to ask you, but I bet if I asked you, you'd be able to tell me all the reasons why, correct?
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good. And Steve, well, I'm guessing the answer to this question is because you've already said banks, schools, and accountants. Can they pay?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that model, that blend, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You love it.
Yep.
It's needed. They can pay. Can you get the result?
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
The Bunsen burners are going crazy. So that's the blend. That's the blend that we're looking for. Okay. So Cheryl, thanks for sharing, Steve-O. Cheryl, what about yourself? Do you want to go through your one?
Yep. I'm targeting professional women who have transitioned from work life to home life and are looking to transition back into work.
Okay. So transitioning professional woman.
Yeah.
Home to work.
Yeah. So they're either still at home looking to go back to work, or they're about to say come into the home, and they're not quite sure about what the next step is, where they want to, where they're heading.
Okay, so if I was to ask you what's your message to these ladies or to these women, what do you help them with? What's your message?
Helping them to create a vision about what they desire in their life. So whether they want to stay within that home environment, or whether they want to transition into work. And if they want to transition into work, what kind of area do they want to transition back into?
Okay. So without, like, we've just had like a nanosecond conversation, but like decide their vision or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like their life purpose, because I think sometimes what I've found out is usually a lot of women who I found when they're transitioning from work to home, they kind of lose themselves a little bit. So they're wanting to refine themselves, and sometimes it can create a change in what they want to do or where they want to be. So that's why I look at the vision side.
Beautiful. All right. So we can, for yourself, your who is very tight.
Yeah.
So professional woman. Mums, was it mums? Sorry, I just assumed because
yes, yeah,
home to work. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that is very tight. The who for you.
Yeah.
Now, what your message? That you could have you could leave that quite broad if you like. So decide their vision. That's broad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just need to figure out exactly what your message is to them. As we go through, they'll become a little bit clearer. But
yeah.
Do you see how you're on the flip side to Steve? Your who is tight as,
yes,
and then your message, and what you help them in is quite broad.
Yeah, because like when you go further down, and you ask me those 3 questions about do I love them? Yes, I do love them.
Yeah.
It's the can they pay? I think this my avatar. There are some that are in this that they don't have that ability to pay, and some do. So some are. I think that's where it might get lost a little bit.
Yep. Okay. So you love them, no doubt. I mean, you are a beautiful mum, and you're doing the same. So that's a given. There's a question mark here, and what's the other one? Can you get a result? Can you help them?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And for many reasons, I assume you have the knowledge and the experience.
Yeah, I think like I've got a few different ways or tools under my belt that can help them. So some of the spiritual tools, the tools from coaching, some of the healing tools as well. So I've got a number of different avenues. Awesome.
So that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Now, this is where you'd probably want to look. Do you want to either broaden on that? Could you, hypothetical, it's up to you, and this is your business and your world, but could you, if you if you just help people find their passion or find their vision, and get tight on the message of doing that, could you then open up bring sort of, what the hell is the word I'm talking about? Untighten who you help. So then the door could be open to, say, not just mums looking to go back into the workforce, because that could solve the problem or the question mark around the ability to pay. So it could be anybody. It could be anybody looking to get their vision together because they're stuck. Yeah. And it's just important that you need to you need to experience all the different flavors, and you get to know who you like working with. But definitely with Avatar, if you've got a roadblock like this where they can't pay, that's where you want to look at and exploring it, opening it up, because that way you're not shutting them out. You're actually still including them, and your messaging will still get through to them, but it's just that you've opened up your own opportunities. Because at the end of the day, if I go back to the very first slide, that thing in the middle, that's what you came here to do as a business owner, for your family, for your own goals. So and that way you still get to help those that you love, and you're able to help so many other people that want your help, that want to have this problem solved.
Cool? Okay. Yep, that's cool.
Awesome. So are we cool on that, team, with those examples, and you can go through and hash it out and do what you need to do?
That's really helpful. Thank you.
Cool. So I'm going to give you a little activity, right? Not to do this on a call, but maybe we could. It's a little fun activity. It's pretty funny. All right. So Cheryl, give me 3 groups of people, or like, how would you want to, who's your avatar? Just give me 3 potential avatars that you might want to work with.
Parents, young people, I'll say old people.
Okay. So, based on our conversation, just previously, how was any? This is just the who. How was anybody sitting with you?
Okay.
Try it on?
Yeah.
All right. So and then it would essentially be like, insert your what. Yeah. So what you do to help them. So you help parents, insert what you do to help them. You help young people, insert what you do to help them. Or you help anybody, insert what you want to do to help them. So give me, just so that this is more effective, what's the what you want to help them part? What is that? Give me in 1 sentence.
Based on what the information I gave you before?
Yep.
To find their passion.
Okay. Cool. All right. Now, looking at that list of 3, which one could you cross off if you had to?
I'm going to go parents.
Okay. All good. So now we've got either Cheryl helps young people find their passion in life, or Cheryl helps anybody find their passion in life. Cool?
Yeah.
All right. Someone got a coin? I don't.
No?
Steve, you got us?
Yeah, no, I haven't. No, I'm in the man cave.
Wait a minute.
Don't have money in here. I've got fish food.
Wait, I've got.
We're in a cashless society. Come on. Like, who carries money around?
I've got plenty of coins. All right, so we're going to get the biggest one out. All right. Oh, what's happened to my screen here? There we go. Okay, Cheryl, are you ready?
Yep.
All right, so you just pick in your mind. Tell us what you want, heads or tails?
I want tails.
Okay. And just, I'm going to flip the coin.
Okay.
And you just choose which one is tails on your list. You don't need to say it.
Okay.
And which one's heads. And then I want to flip the coin.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right. So as I flipped that coin up, which one did you hope it was going to be?
Anybody.
It's probably Avatar.
Right, there you go.
Cool.
I like that. That's really cool.
Let it sit.
Yeah.
But that's probably it. In that moment, Oh, just found all my coins too. Good. So that's just a fun little way to, you know, pick an avatar. Because here's the thing. I probably should have taken you through this, but for time, like there's so many reasons why people don't want to pick an avatar, and I'll see if I've got some room here to do it. It's like they'll lose variety. So lose variety.
Yeah.
Is one of them. What's another one? Oh, they just can't decide. Hence why we flip the coin. Lose variety or lose opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's like, so the examples that were given to me by, one of the mentors I've been working with, Taki Moore, is fucking brilliant. Oops, that's the first time I swore on here. That's pretty good effort. So, then you might have heard me talk about this on Facebook Lives, but, you spread that net, the fishing net, and the holes just get wider and wider and wider. So, yeah, the sharks might not get through, but all the tuna, all the little fish are getting through. And that's like our opportunities. When we want to spread that net really wide, because we want to cover like half the Atlantic Ocean to get as many people as we can, and we keep our message really wide, then all of those fish are swimming through. And it's like, we only get that one-off blue whale or shark that comes in, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So to overcome that objection, it's like, well, opportunity, you actually get more when you let your net, just be in a smaller vicinity. And we help those in our town that we want to be a champion and a hero for. Now, in terms of variety, okay, when we have a focus and clarity on who we're helping, then we get to, here's the thing, we get to fulfill our need for variety by thinking of all the different ways that we can create stuff for them. Make sense? Because here, like the 6 core needs, variety, people want to work with, anyone and everyone, and the message is going to be anything and everything, right? And it's for variety because we would just want to help the world. But that's not effective for our business. And in fact, when we tighten up our who or our what, whichever one we're going to tighten up, we are able to be their hero, and we're able to get more creative and find different ways. So like if you look at my slides here, right, you really like them. Well, that's because I really like helping you, right? And it did not bother me one bit. It was actually fun going through and thinking of all the different ways that I can get this message across to help you get it. So my variety and looking through all these pictures and stuff and getting creative, that I was fulfilling my need for variety by doing that for you. Cool? So we don't actually lose variety. We just are able to put more focus on where we're getting our variety. Yeah, so it's resourceful, not unresourceful. And then the last one, can't pick. Well, just do what we did there. Yeah, just flip the coin, choose. So that's essentially what that one was. Now, the last piece, I'm conscious of the time, guys. Have you guys got, 15 minutes or so?
Yeah, rock on.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. So our mission here for our people, does that resonate about picking the avatar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet. And feel free to use any of this and all of this, okay?
I've just written down I've called it a choice exercise, because that's a great way to help somebody make a choice. Whether it be a client or anything, they're stuck. Do I do this? Do I do that? I'll tell you what, let's toss a coin on it. You tell me which one you think is tails, and then I loved how I could see where you were going with it. As soon as you did it, I was like, I see this. And then you went, tell me which one you were hoping for.
Seriously. Like, I'm just way too naive. I did not even see what you were doing.
It's not because you were naive. If I had done it to Steve, you probably would have seen it.
It's because you were actually in the moment.
You were in the moment. You were under that pressure, and that was perfect. Yeah, cool. Thanks for playing along. Awesome. Yeah, use that, Steve. No information is new information, my friend, as we all know, right? Go and do what you need to do. Yeah, it's going to be fun in your groups as well when you put someone on the spot. It's going to be fun. Look, our mission here with our people is to take them from a state of, cool, you can see my screen, is to take them from here to here, okay? from, you know, where they're leaving from, which is where they're feeling a bit stuck or whatever. I'm going to tell you how to build this out. But we want to understand where they're at the moment and what's going on for them there. Okay. And then we want to find out, okay, well, where is it that's happy? What do they want? What's their aspirations? Okay. And this is a part of going deep within our avatar. And then there's another exercise after that, which is pretty straightforward because it's written out for you. But this part that I want to take you through is crucial. So if I were to show you on my window in front of me, I have this exact template on my windowsill. If I show you my phone screensaver, it is the exact same thing that's on my window is on my screensaver, because it just cements who my people are, what's going on for them. And that's why I said to you before, when I'm talking to anyone at the, I don't know, on the train, a new person I meet, as soon as they start talking, I know if they're my avatar or not. Make sense? Or I know if they're somebody that's going to make a difference. And it doesn't just mean that they could be a client. Please don't hear that. It means that I can learn something from them. Yeah. So the better I know who I help, the better I'm able to communicate with them. Yeah. Cool. So how you want to write this, how you want to build this out is you want to think about once you've got your who, and all the problems that they might have, whoever your avatar is, you want to list out what their frustrations are. Now, frustrations inside, frustrations outside, fears inside, fears outside, what's that mean? Essentially, the reason why in module 1, I'm breaking it down like this for you is because I want to start priming you or getting you familiar with this format, which is cognitive dissonance. Heard of that?
Dissidence. Yeah, run that past me.
Cognitive dissonance. Oh, it's a biggie. But
yeah, I've got cognitive, but it's the other bit. Is that like disassociation?
No, maybe. It's essentially in an easy way. Okay, it's the gap between where you are now and where you want to be. What's in between?
Righto. Yeah.
And this is how we build problems. So we can't solve the problem properly if we don't have the full picture of where we're at now and where we want to be. And when we build that out on a level, okay, this is getting deep, but when we experience the world through 2 ways. We experience it through our inner world, which is our emotions, our feelings, hence the inside column. And then we also experience the world by what's going on outside of us. So in our relationships, in our jobs, the stuff that we do. So anything outside of you, money, finances, relationships, shoes, stuff, anything that you can physically touch, it's not within you, it's outside of you. Now we experience our world through external events, external circumstances, external people, external things. And that impacts our world. Yeah?
Yeah.
Like it has to. So that's one way we experience our world. And then the other way is what's happening inside. So how we feel about what's going on outside, how we feel within about our own selves. Okay. So we see the world, or that's how we construct our memories, our events, all of that stuff. And so in everything that we do in this course is going to be making sure we understand, or we have a full picture of both the inner and the outer, because that's what's going on for them. Yeah? Got it. Cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can I ask a question? When you're looking at their frustrations and their fears, do they kind of overlap a little bit?
Oh, yeah, I'll explain. Yep, good question. So the frustrations are, so emotions, I'll give you that example. So emotions and feelings, and just list them. Yeah. Right? So when you think about your avatar, or you think about where you were 2 years ago, if that's your avatar, if that helps, just list the emotions, list them all down. List them in the if you say, for example, unhappy, right? Unhappy. What's another word for that? Because it's still got that happy word in it. So miserable. Yeah. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no positive in there.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to reframe the language to make sure the language is actually a frustration, not the opposite. So for frustrations, they're not too deep. They could think about it like this. They could bitch about these. Yeah. They could tell a story about this stuff. Yeah. To their friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Friends, colleagues, whatever, family, they can talk about it. Oh, I'm just so miserable in my job. Oh, I'm just stuck here. Yeah. You can tell it surface.
That whole question of how's your day been, and then you pin your ears back because you're going to get it both barrels.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's surface stuff. Now, when we're going into fears, hence good question, Cheryl, that's deep. They're not telling people about that. Okay? That's not something that they would share with their mates. That's not something they would probably even share with their partners or their husbands and their wives. It's deep stuff. Okay? It's the true fear that they have inside of themselves. Or if it's outside, it's the true fear that they have about the circumstances outside of themselves. So I'll give you some examples just to help you out, and then they're totally hypothetical and based on my avatar, right? But the fear inside is that they're not worthy of success. Not worthy of success. Now I can say that because that was mine. Yeah. This little so-and-so girl from New Zealand, who do you think you are? You're not worthy of having a 10K month. That was my story, right? That is essentially my avatar. So the fear inside is that I truly didn't deserve 10K. Yeah, that was back then. And so that is a fear inside that I wasn't going around telling anyone, but it was happening for me. Every time I was in an action, that was the reason. Yeah, that was the thing making me scared. The fear outside was that I had started a journey in a business, but I wasn't going to make any money. I was going to be unsuccessful. Don't know if that's 2 S's, but I was going to be unsuccessful. That was the true fear that was going to happen, that it was back to a job and I wasn't going to, actually, it wasn't that, because I could live with being unsuccessful. I'd done that before in network marketing, and then I came to coaching. So that I could live with. Even deeper is that I didn't have what it takes to build a legacy. Because for me, and this is full transparency, it was more about being who I needed to be, make these changes in my lives to show, my whole family line that this is possible. Because it wasn't just me, it's conditioning of a tribal thing. And so for me, my driving thing is I want to create this legacy to show and leave evidence that this is possible. So the fear for me outside was that no one was going to see it. Same shit would happen. And yeah, it was just all going to go to shit. So that was the fear outside. Whereas the frustrations that I had were just like, okay, not in action. Yeah. It's like, we can let that go for a couple of weeks, months. It's like not in action was a frustration of mine. Not, no clients. Yeah, that's a external thing, and it's a frustration. I can tell people about that, right? It's not something that this is another word for it is like shame. And no one's going to just have a yarn about this stuff because it's actually deep and it's potentially shameful. So it's when it comes to content, if you come in hot with the deep stuff in your content, an example of this is that people will not interact because it's too deep. Because if they like that post or if they comment on that post, that means they're saying, yep, that's me. And they're not going to do that. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I just want you to go ahead and, in your time, build out your avatar. If you want an example of mine, I can shoot you that through in a message, right? Or an older one even of mine. If that makes sense on how to list them and just to look at the language, would that be helpful?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. And
yeah, thank you.
Thanks for asking that question, Cheryl, because that's given me a whole different perspective or understanding. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, beautiful. It's very, it's really, does that resonate though? There's some things that we're just not going to open up to people, even those closest to us, because it's an internal thing, and we're actually, we're actually trying to figure it out, like for our own selves. Like we're trying to come to terms with it and let it up on our own, let alone trying to speak to those around us. So it's an internal thing that we're dealing with. Okay. So everybody has them, and when you can step into or sink into the soul of your avatar and think about what it might be, or even if you get the opportunity to build that rapport and ask somebody, then you'll be really solid in terms of what's going on for them. Cool.
Full bananas.
Awesome. And it's really important you do this, because how we build content, we pick it from here. Okay, it makes it really easy. So this is just like we take all the stuff that you put in here about your avatar and we put it into content, right? Awesome. So on the flip side, where are you taking them to? They bought their plane ticket. They're keen to come with you. They want to ride on Steve Airways, Cheryl Airways, and this is what they want. This is why they came, because what you're promising is what they want. So what is it they want? Again, surface. Yeah?
Yeah.
And this is the feelings, emotions, and this stuff is the external. And it's usually money, people. I'm going to try and draw a tie. Oh, no. Like jobs. That's not a tie. Job.
It wasn't too bad.
Biz, job, money, finances. What else?
Like experiences.
Yeah. And again, surface stuff that they will gladly tell their mates about. This is what I want. Yeah. So inspired, as an example. Love, all of that. So all of the inner feelings. You can't touch it. Physical. It's steam, but it's real. Yeah. Steam creates ice. Steam is very real. If you cool that, it will turn to water. You cool that, it turns to ice. So steam is steam is very real. It's just you can't touch it. That's how we want to think about the inner world. And then the inside aspirations are, what do they really want? Now, they may not admit it, but what do they really want deep down inside? So, wealth may be one, but there's a lot of people that don't go, blowing their horn about that, and that's okay, but that's what they really want. So it might be wealth. Yeah.
Validation springs to mind as well.
Yeah. Significance.
Yeah.
As in like status?
Yeah. Status. That's significant. That's a form of significance. Yeah. You want to be the face of the show, that sort of thing. So we want to just really look at, what are they here to do? What and what can you deliver? what's your promise made of? Because what do they want? Because that's what you'll base your promise off, right? When you talk about that in your marketing, provided that you can deliver. That's why it's really important that at the start, we make sure we tick that box that we can deliver, like we can solve that problem for them. Because otherwise, when you start getting into, you know, helping them in their world and transforming their world and actually getting them on the plane, it's like, should if they've come all that way and you can't, then that's when we run into problems. But making sure that you know how to get them there. So is that all clear?
Yep.
Any questions?
No.
Checkers.
Cool. I'll send you the example anyway, so it'll make sense. Now,
Great. Thank you.
all good. Once you've done that, then you can take those buzzwords, because that's all they really are. Okay. It's just words that can apply anywhere. Self-awareness, love, you know, they're just descriptives. Take those words, close your eyes, and write a story about them. And this is the cognitive dissonance stuff in effect. Okay. So this is the now. If it doesn't change, this is the now. And then this page is the future. Okay. So describe the problem in detail and just keep what I did when I did this. I just kept looking back at my list and feeling into it. And then I just told a story. Yeah. Made it up. You can name them if you want. Name the person, but just describe their problem in detail. Tell a story about their day. And then the things you want to focus on are what is their problem in detail, and what are these? What's it costing them? And what's it costing them in external stuff? So I'm also showing you the code here as well. I hope you, I trust that makes sense. But
yep.
I don't want to just, because the important thing here is that you don't just monkey see, monkey do with this stuff. You actually, you understand the thinking behind it or the code behind it, like we do in coaching, and you model the code, model the thinking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what I've done and how I'm able to use it in teachers. So, as coaches, we know that it's to model the thinking and the code and the patterns is what's going to give you the breakthroughs. So the next thing we want to write about is what's going on for them internally. Yeah. What will this cost them if they stay the same? And then we want to write a story about that. Mm-hmm. The last piece is we want to do the same, but now that it's all hunky-dory and they've got that whole list there, they've got all their wants, they've got all their aspirations. Now let's tell the story from that angle. Describe their situation now, after breaking through. Yeah. After breaking through their problems, what's their life like now? What's going on for them now? And write the story. And then how do they now spend their external stuff? Money, time, and freedom, or effort. What's going on with, how are those three currencies being spent now that they've broken through, now that they've arrived at their destination? Now what's that look like? And then the same for emotion. What emotional experiences do they now have as a result of making better choices?
Yep.
And then we tell the story. This is just one big fat story. And we write it up. We're the author based on what we know about our people.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
When you're looking at content, are you using, I guess to engage them, are you using a combination of the now and the future?
Yeah, always.
Like, so the story is, okay, here you are now. I'm going to connect with you in a way that it's going to resonate with you. This is where I'm going to take you, or this is where it's going to lead you to. And and then obviously like a call to action, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yep. Doesn't always have to be a call to action, but it's about what this is doing is building out the visual in their mind.
Yeah.
Because people don't stop and read if they don't have a clear reason why. So when you go bang, now, bang, future, and you talk straight to them, they're like, oh shit, okay, I'll keep reading.
Yeah.
And then they get to the bottom, get to the bottom comment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to go bang, bang and talk to them. Yeah. But we'll unpack all of that in more detail. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Totally.
Cool. So that their before and after story is more for you to just embody and go deep within your avatar. I mean, it is totally optional what you do here and what you don't do, but if the more you know your people, when you get an audience with them and you start speaking, boy, you start mind reading them and they're like, I gotta have you in my life. Yeah? Because you know them and because you've taken the time to get to know them. So that's the power of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Really good. Like it.
Dig it?
Yep.
Okay.
I feel it, man.
You're feeling it? I'm feeling it. Do you understand why I was bloody excited?
Yep.